Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar presented by Barker Marketing. Today we're going to be talking about social proof, and we're going to highlight the keys to winning more customers online. My name is Brad Smith. I'm the CEO and founder of Barker Marketing. We are a full-service marketing agency that specializes in the digital space. So everything from website development to social media marketing, search engine optimization to online advertising. We help companies increase brand awareness, visibility, and results online. Joining me today is Brad Biley, one of our senior social media marketing advisors. And I'm really excited about today's presentation because we're going to share some practical tips that you can use in your business and your online marketing efforts right away. And what's great about this webinar is it's not all theory. It's more practical. It's specifically how to use these things and how to begin implementing them to see more return on your marketing investment. And this isn't just us guessing at what works. We work with well over 200 companies all across the country on their online marketing needs. And this is all based on data, research, testing, A/B testing that we've done over the years and have really refined what works in the online space and what can help you get more business. So let's talk a little bit about today's agenda. Number one, we're going to talk about the decision-making process and real quick outline how that's changed over the years. We're going to look at how you can determine what's most important to your target audience. So in order to be an effective marketer, you need to know what your target audience is interested in. You need to know what their pain points are. You need to know what gets engagement. And we're going to highlight ways and tools that you can use to find out what they're most interested in. We're going to walk through how to get your message in front of the right people. You could have the best message in the world. Great copy, great content, great offers, but it's useless if you're not getting it in front of the right people. So we'll walk through how to use different tools, how to determine what social platforms and what online medium are right for getting the message in front of your target audience and reaching the right people. And we'll talk about how to use social media and other online tools to get past gatekeepers and be much more effective in your other sales activities. And then really the focus of this presentation is building a library of social proof. You can say how great you are till you're blue in the face. You can talk about how outstanding your service is, how great your products are. But it doesn't mean that much unless it comes from someone else. And we'll walk through how to share content, position yourself as an expert, and get your customers to become advocates for your sales and your service. If you can get referred into a company, if someone can refer your product or your service, it makes closing that sale, earning that business way easier. And we'll walk through how to build that library of social proof. When you registered for this webinar, we asked a lot of people questions. We said, what are your biggest marketing challenges? Okay, not because we're nosy, but because we want you to get the most out of these webinars. We want to make sure that we're providing information that helps. So what we did is went through and summarized what people who have registered for this webinar reported as some of their biggest marketing challenges. And we summarized a lot of these into different categories. And we really tailored this webinar to answer these questions. So how can we better reach our target audience? How can we build more trust? How can we compete with bigger, more established companies and oftentimes companies that have massive marketing and sales budgets or big sales forces? How can we what are the most effective tools and what is the best way to market with limited times and limited funds? And I love this question, where should I spend my money, online marketing or other areas? We're going to address all of these. But I also want to encourage you throughout the webinar, use the question panel in the right-hand side. Ask questions. If we're unclear about something or you want us to dig deeper into a topic, ask questions. If it makes sense, we'll stop the webinar and answer it right there. And if not, we'll just save it to the end and address all of those at the end too. So use us as a resource, ask questions. All right, so now let's jump into the meat of the presentation. I want to take just a moment and talk about the decision-making process. And the way that consumers buy products now, buy services, is way different than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Okay, a lot less people are going into a store to research. They're doing the research ahead of time. People are becoming educated consumers. And where's that education happening? It's happening online. Okay, they're going to company websites, they're going to social media outlets, they're talking to their friends and family online, they're asking for referrals, they're going to review sites. Online tools have dramatically changed the way that decisions take place. And here's just a few stats to support that. This is from Social Media Today, and they did a survey, and what they found was 78% of people that completed the survey said that a company's social media posts impact their purchases. Okay, could be negative, could be positive, but they have an impact on purchase decisions. Almost 8 out of 10 people. And getting even more granular, 4 in 10 social media users said that they've actually purchased an item on or service in store or online after they've shared it or marked it as a favorite on Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest. That's really powerful. Let that sink in for a minute. 4 out of 10 people, once they click like on a product, service, once they engage with your brand online, they purchase. Very, very impactful. So the more people that you can get to engage with your brand and your services and your products online, the more sales you're going to have. And I love this slide because as I begin talking about stats and how important social media is, sometimes I get a glassed over look and people are like, yeah, okay, we get it, but really, why should we care? Well, social media and online tools, they can help turn one-to-one conversations into one-to-many conversations. They can help you build brand advocates for your current happy customers. You can greatly expand your sales force through social media by getting your biggest fans to share your content and sell for you. And all of this impacts purchase decisions. Just a few more stats. This took a look at small businesses. Okay, many of you on the call right now are small businesses. 4 out of 5 small business marketing professionals have reported that they use social media to promote their business. Okay, whether it's promoting products, services, whether it's promoting events. Okay, your competition is out there doing it. If you're not active and agile and effective on social media, your competition is going to leapfrog you. Okay, and where's your competition focusing? Focusing on Facebook. Some are on Twitter. Some are on Google+. Some are on Pinterest, Instagram, Flickr. If you're doing B2B marketing, you want to be active on LinkedIn. Why? Because your consumers, your customers, your prospects, they're all active on these social networks. If you're not there, your competition is going to eat your lunch. They're going to take your clients. They're going to take your prospects. If you want to grow your business, you need to get active. And I want to spend just a little bit of time on this slide. And I think this research is really important when looking at developing a social media or an online marketing strategy. You need to determine what your goals are. Okay, before you jump into things and before you begin posting things, let's talk about your goals. And what are your goals for social media? This was some research that was done, and they looked at and surveyed marketing professionals of small and medium and large-sized businesses. And they asked, what are you actually getting out of your social media marketing efforts? What's the return? And 85% of people reported, you know what, we're getting an increased exposure. We're getting in front of a whole lot more people and a lot of the right people. We're getting more traffic back to our website. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, how to really use social to drive traffic to your website instead of somewhere else. Social media provides marketplace insights. They use it almost as a research tool to find out what's going on in the audience, find out what your target audience is really passionate about. 58% used it to generate leads. I'll share a case study on a healthcare organization that we did some marketing for that generated a ton of leads right off the bat. 58% say that they've developed loyal fans, and 55% have improved search rankings. I know that's a goal of many people on this call. How do I get to the top of search results? How do I drive more traffic from Google and Bing when people are looking for what I offer? Well, a big component of that is social media marketing and online marketing. If you're effective at social marketing, you're building your audience, you're getting more people to engage with your content, that's going to in turn help your search rankings. Google, Bing, and Yahoo are looking at search signals and social ranking factors to determine who should rank at the top of search results. If more people are engaging with your brand and following you and interacting with your company on social, that's a signal to the search engines that you're relevant. If people are engaging with you on social, they'll probably engage with you in search results. They'll probably click on that search result. Okay, it's a big, big ranking signal to search engines. Over half of grew business partnerships through social media. 46% reported that they were able to reduce their marketing expenses through social. And we'll show you some examples of companies that have done that. Social media allows you to make sure that your message isn't wasted on prospects outside of your target audience. If you're running a radio spot or you're running TV commercials, think about how much waste there is. It's hard to really nail down your target demographic, but on social, we can do that. And 40% said they've directly seen sales improved. So it's very, very impactful. And we're going to walk through how to do all this, how to get all of these benefits here on the left-hand side for your business. But before we do, just think to yourself, what is your goal in social? Okay, is it one of these or is it something else? It could be many of these. All right, so let's dig into developing a strategy here. So I've talked a lot about the benefits. I've talked a lot about how social and online marketing impacts decision-making process. Now let's put it into action. And we need to determine, before we do anything else, what is most important to your audience. What do they care about? What are they passionate about? And Brad, I'm going to ask you to kind of walk through some different tools. And we use a lot of these tools internally here when we're crafting a strategy for our clients. And as we're implementing this strategy, we're continually looking at analytics and data to help make sure that what we're doing drives the most ROI possible. So Brad, I'm going to pass it over to you. Walk through some of these different platforms and tools that we use to really make better judgments on how to market and what's important and what kind of content we should be sharing.
The first tool that I would definitely recommend if you have a website is Google Analytics. If you don't currently have Google Analytics activated and installed on your website, do it following this call. What you can see with Google Analytics is the total amount of page views, unique page views, the time on page. You can look at the actual path that a user on your website is taking when they get to your website. What I'm interested in a content marketing strategy is what blog article people are reading and what article people are consuming the most of. So if you look at the path here of behavior, site content, all pages, and then 2016, we're actually going to sort by blog, I apologize. But if we sorted by blog here and we look at what page views get the most traffic, we would see that it's the top 5 resume mistakes. What to do if there's a coworker that's driving you nuts, or how to handle workplace drug testing. The things that are coming to the forefront at the very top for this particular client are topics that we should prepare more content on. We want to stay away from things that are near the bottom of our list because it's not resonating well with our audience. So with the first 3 to 6 months of your content strategy, what you really want to do is try a wide variety of different types of content. Try things that you think will resonate well. Try things that you maybe know will resonate well via surveys or questionnaires. And then publish content and just see what works. Track the data and use that to your advantage. As we move on to LinkedIn Analytics, when you post content on your LinkedIn company page, what you can do is go into company page, analytics, and look at the insights of that page. And on the Insights tab, what you can see are the total impressions. So how many unique users saw that content in their LinkedIn newsfeed. You can also see things like clicks and interactions. And they're important because that's the total amount of traffic that you're driving back to your site from LinkedIn. So if we publish a good piece of content, and in this example we had 14 clicks back to the website, we also had some social interactions. So we had 9 likes, comments, shares, things like that. What we want to do on LinkedIn is see, again, what's resonating well. So you'll see this post here from June 6th was seen by the most amount of people. It had the highest impressions. It had the highest clicks. And it had a pretty good interaction rate. I would consider sharing similar content if not even waiting maybe a week or two and sharing this content again and seeing how it does. If you published at 3 p.m., try again at 9 p.m., try again at 9 in the morning. You can have that 24-hour period of social media where just because you're open 9 to 5 doesn't mean social can't operate outside of that time frame. So see what content resonates well on a given platform and then share similar content. Use that insight, continue creating a strategy for the future. If we go to Facebook, it's extremely similar. So within Facebook and your company page, if you go to Insights and then you sort by engagement, and what I like to do is sort by reactions and shares, because it allows me to see how much my audience is resonating well with my audience and what people are doing in the form of commenting, sharing. Are they liking it? Are they using Facebook's love or hate feature that they rolled out with the new forms of engagement? But what you'll see here from this example is that all of the content that's really resonating well are team images. So the first is on Michelle Sears, one of our employees here, and what she does outside of the office with the Boys and Girls Club of Erie County. And then you look at another post like National Puppy Day, you see that resonates well. So think about your audience, and then also think about just fun content. What would people like to see? People want to work with you. They want to work with the individuals in your office, in your company, in your organization. Post about them. Share their content. Share their story. If you have a team builder, share those pictures. If you have a retreat or just a happy hour, take a couple pictures, post those as well, and post them on Facebook, and let your audience see who they're actually working with on a daily basis. If we bounce over to Twitter, it's, again, very similar to LinkedIn and Facebook in the sense that if you go to analytics.twitter.com and log in using your Twitter login credentials, you can see which of your tweets get the most impressions, engagements, and overall look at that engagement rate. What we want to look for are things that stick out. So if you're posting daily or bi-daily, whatever your schedule is, look at what content works. And also important to that is look what content doesn't work. If you're sharing content in the morning or you're sharing content on a given topic and you see that your audience is not getting a lot of impressions, no one's engaging with it, consider not sharing that type of content anymore. It's not working for your audience. These social platforms are giving you dashboards where you can go in and physically see what is and is not working. Use that data so that when you create a 3-month or a 6-month strategy and you revisit that at the end of that, use that to decide on what you'll use in the future. It's important data and definitely influential.
Brad, thanks for sharing. I know that we're really active in looking at all these platforms and adjusting, but for the average person, the average marketer out there, how often would you recommend that you check data on each of these platforms?
Yeah, I would probably stick to quarterly. I think every 3 months is a good time to evaluate what worked and what didn't. You don't want to get into the habit of checking every day because there are going to be days where certain things happen. Maybe there's a holiday or another event where you get a nice spike or a big drop. But what you want to look at is basically a nice quarter span. So over 3 months, what happened? And then when you develop your strategy for the next 3 months, use the data from the previous period.
Great, terrific, thanks. Yeah, and to your point, Brad, if you're in there every single day looking at analytics, it's kind of tough to, you're focusing on a tree instead of looking at the forest. It's tough to really glean any big insights. So use this data to look for overall trends. Okay? Don't get stuck on one single post and engagement, things like that. Look for trends. Now, I know another question that we often get from our clients and from many people on this call too is, outside of these analytics, outside of the content that you're sharing on your individual page, how else do you try to kind of determine what your audience might be interested in? And Brad, I'm going to ask you to kind of walk through 2 tools that we use. One is BuzzSumo, and another is Answer the Public. Now, these are free tools. Everybody on this call can use them. They do offer paid versions too, but these are tools that we use. So, Brad, if you don't mind, kind of walk through how you use each of these.
Yeah, I love BuzzSumo. BuzzSumo is a great way to look for your given topic, a specific area, a region, and what they're going to show you is the amount of social shares per platform that a given topic and article is receiving. So in this instance, we looked up Buffalo, New York, and things like living in Buffalo, New York, 10 signs you grew up in Buffalo, New York are showing up and are cutting through the forefront here. What we want to do is see what's being shared in a given location and then consider sharing that article again. So while we want to always look to drive people back to our home territory and our home web page so that they can consume our own content and can ultimately end up on a contact page or a contact form or pick up the phone and actually call us, we do also want to repurpose great content. So if you look at this example here, while I would consider sharing the 10 signs you grew up in Buffalo on Facebook, I might not share it on Twitter because it doesn't look like it's doing that well. Instead, that article under it, living in Buffalo, New York, is doing better on Twitter. So what I would do is share the one article on Facebook, share the other on Twitter. And what you can do is start to use that to craft your overall social messaging. BuzzSumo is a great tool to see what topics, your area, just what's being said in a given space.
Yeah, and you can type in industry terms, you can type in topics, you can type in just about any keyword and see what people are engaging with across the board and across the internet. Great for crafting your strategy.
Absolutely. The second tool that you mentioned, Brad, was Answer the Public. And when you go to answerthepublic.com, you're greeted with this seeker here. And what you can essentially do is look up a key term, like finding a contractor. You want to change your country to the United States, obviously, and then click Get Questions. And what this is going to do is scrape all of Google's related content, so a related search. And when you go to Google and you make a search string and you go to the way bottom of that, it's going to show you related topics. This is great in finding out what sort of blog content you should start putting together because it's showing you exactly what is working well in Google search and what is related to a common topic. So things like finding a contractor, other types of content that you could put together are how to find a bathroom contractor, how to find a home contractor, finding a reliable contractor. Use Google's related posts and related suggestions and build that into your content marketing strategy. These are already terms that people are searching for. Be the answer that people are looking for and give them the content that they need.
Terrific, thanks. So we talked about how to really define what type of content your audience is most interested in. Now we need to get that content in front of the right people. So how do you reach the right people? We're going to walk through a few tools for how to reach the right people. And first I want to highlight is LinkedIn's advanced search. If you're doing any type of business-to-business or higher-end professional services, sales, you're going to want to use LinkedIn Advanced Search. It's a great way to really refine who your target audience is and get your message in front of the decision maker without having to go through the gatekeeper. So Brad, walk through real quick how you use Advanced Search.
Yeah, I love Advanced Search's feature, and what I like to use is the second connections here. You'll see that in the middle category under Advanced People Search. I want to search for second connections because what that's going to open up is anybody that's connected to my initial first connection. So say I'm connected to Brad Smith and he's connected to somebody else that I'm not connected to. By searching for a keyword like dentist and Brad's connected to that person, they're now going to show up in my search string. So there's the common ground of Brad Smith that I can now reach out to that person. I also filled in my postal code. I said that I want to notify somebody that's within 25 miles. And I also wanted to look at, again, that keyword. So say you're looking for a given service or a person in a specific area. Open it up to second connections and then really let that word of mouth marketing happen. You're going to see all your first connections, and again, those seconds are people that are connected to people that you know, people that you've worked with. Maybe it's family, friends, friends of friends. It's a great tool and a great way to connect with people that are in your given space and in your given market and can help you with your needs.
Yeah, and the reason that you really want to do this is you want to build your connections. LinkedIn is a great platform for, again, direct one-to-one outreach. Once you're connected with someone, you can get access to their contact information, their phone number, their direct line, their email address in many cases. You can also send email messages right through LinkedIn's platform. Okay, and email through LinkedIn, this might be slightly outdated, but the last time I looked had about a 75 to 80% open rate. If you use any type of email marketing platform, open rates are probably between 15 to 18%. Okay, so huge disparity in effectiveness there. If you connect with more people and you use LinkedIn strategically for that one-to-one outreach and make it more personal, very, very effective. Great way to get past the gatekeeper, great way to get past reception, great way to not get placed in voicemail every time you're doing a cold call. Really, really impactful. The other thing that it does is it helps to build trust. Okay, so as Brad points out, you're connecting with second-level connections. Okay, those people, when you send them an invite, they can see who knows you that they're connected with. Okay, so very impactful. If you're connected with a lot of the same people, that helps build a little bit of trust. That helps build a connection. So very, very useful tool. There's oftentimes a misnomer that social media is free. Okay, and at its base, at its core, yeah, it's free in the sense that you only have to invest your internal time and resources to use it, to have a presence there. But if you get past that notion of social media just being free and think about using it as a platform to get in front of people that maybe don't know about you yet, just putting a few dollars behind your social media presence can have a huge impact. So social media platforms, the way that they monetize their platforms and the way that they make money is by selling online ads. And what's great about this is that people share very specific details on their Facebook profile or in their LinkedIn profile. And these ad platforms allow you to get very granular in who you're targeting. Now, I mentioned earlier when you run a TV spot or a radio commercial, there's a lot of waste. Okay, you're reaching a whole lot of people, but you're reaching a whole lot of people that may not care about what you offer or what you're selling. People that might not be your exact target audience. On social media, using pay-per-click, it's the complete opposite. Okay, there's no waste. You focus on the exact person, the exact demographic, the exact region that you're trying to get in front of. And it's great because you can reach a target audience that doesn't know about you yet. You can reach customers that may have forgotten about you or maybe have not done business with you in the past. We can take your customer list, upload that into Facebook, and only run ads for people that are on that list. Okay, really, really impactful. There's always opportunities to brand, and you can turn your existing customers into brand ambassadors. And what I mean by that is if your existing customers follow you on Facebook and you're running social ads, you can target their friends. Okay, they become brand ambassadors because now their name is attached to your brand. If I'm targeting Brad Biley and I see that 5 people I know like a company that Brad Biley likes, I'm way more likely to follow that company, to do business with that company, to choose that company. So again, it helps build trust. Now let's look at some specific examples of what you could do with a little bit of paid promotion behind social media. And one platform that I absolutely love is Facebook. Now Twitter and LinkedIn, both on Instagram and other platforms offer advertising, but right now, for me, the biggest bang for your buck is on Facebook. You can run promoted content, so we can push a blog post or an ebook or a special offer. If you're having an event, we can boost that event out to a specific number of people. Ads can be used to increase the number of people that follow you online or drive individuals back to your website or an order form or a product form or something else. And I mentioned earlier we can get really, really granular and really specific. And I wanted to share with you a specific example of a healthcare facility that's one of our clients. We wrote a blog post about varicose vein treatment. Okay, they offer varicose vein treatment services. Not a very exciting topic. Okay, we're not talking about sports, we're not talking about politics, we're not talking about religion, we're talking about varicose veins. Okay, pretty boring topic. And in this particular post, we walked through treatment options and had a very, very strong call to action at the end of the post and throughout the post to schedule an appointment, schedule a consultation. So the goal of this content was to educate people and to get them to take action. So in order to reach our target audience, we had to define our target audience. We said who's most likely to proactively go out and choose to do something about varicose veins. And we said, well, it's probably women in the 28 to 60 range that have some very specific likes and interests. It's an elective surgery, so it's probably a little bit more affluent target audience too. So we could get granular and really focus on people in a specific geographic market, in a specific age range, in a specific gender that had certain income levels. Okay, think about how granular that is, how specific that is. People within 20 miles of office locations, in a specific age range, specific likes, interests, socioeconomic level, very, very specific. Out of this post, we spent only $25 promoting this. So a fraction of the cost of a radio spot or a billboard or a TV spot. We got 133 actions and engagements. It was seen by over 5,000 people. As people begin engaging with this, liking it, sharing it, we're getting in front of everybody that they know, everybody that they're connected with on social. They're becoming brand advocates. They're sharing this content from this facility. And out of that one post with social promotions, 20 appointment inquiries. This was within a 3-day span. Okay, very specific, very focused, very targeted, didn't require salespeople picking up the phone and calling, didn't require a ton of effort. It was just good content, a great call to action, and very easy to engage and interact with the brand. That's what social can really do for you. Okay, it can get you in front of the exact right people and drive action. When we're looking at ROI, when we're looking at impact, we're looking at all of these numbers. We're doing things very specific to get people from the top of the sales funnel down to the bottom of the sales funnel where they convert and it impacts your bottom line. All right, so that's Facebook and that's advertising, and I encourage you to consider that. It's very impactful. It can help drive down marketing budgets and be very effective. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about some things that you can do on Twitter, and specifically hashtags. And Brad, we get this question all the time. What are hashtags? How should I use them? How do I determine what hashtags I should use? So walk everybody through what you do well, first, what a hashtag is, and what you do to determine where to use hashtags and what terms to use.
A hashtag is essentially a grouping, and what you can do by using a hashtag is put your thoughts and your comments in the same group as other people that are using that same hashtag. So if you look at the example on your screen of hashtag buy now, what would happen is if I, as my company, was using hashtag buy now, would be filtered into the category, the grouping, of everybody else that is also using that hashtag. It's a great way to get your messaging in a similar space as your competition. It's also a great way to break through that space. So with RightTag, what you can do is look up various hashtags, maybe buy now, buy today, order now, order today. What you can then do is use RightTag's features to see how much exposure that would get, how many unique tweets are using each hashtag, how many retweets per hour are used on that hashtag. You want to be a little bit selective. You don't want to use a hashtag that's overly popular because there's no way you're going to cut through that clutter. You want to find something that's just on the brink of getting a lot of exposure, a fair amount of tweets, and something that's getting good retweets and getting good engagement, but at the same time isn't overly populated. RightTag's a great way to do your research before you go into Twitter and publish a tweet using a specific hashtag. And you can actually look on the right-hand side here. It's just an example under somebody else, but hashtag fashion came up in red. It's because everybody is using that. There's no reason to use that. Blue is usually your best option, so your buy nows, your order nows, order todays. Try it, see what keyword works best for you and what message you're trying to send, and then use that when you use your Twitter account.
Yeah, and it gets you in front of more people and also helps build followers too. I know internally here, when we use certain hashtags, every time we use that hashtag, we get 5, 6, 10, 20 followers just because of using a specific hashtag. So they can be very effective. Brad, walk through LinkedIn, and this is a somewhat newer option on LinkedIn to publish a post, and also really effective.
Yeah, with publishing posts on LinkedIn, what you can do is essentially take your blog content and publish it on LinkedIn as if it's its own blog and its own entity. So when I create a piece of content, the 3 examples on your screen here, what I do is let it sit for a day or 2 on the Barker blog, and then I'll go over to LinkedIn and I'll publish it as its own standalone post. And there's a couple great benefits of that. One, all of those links are follow links, so all of the link credit and the keyword density gets passed on to our website. Also, all of my connections get a notification that Brad Biley published this article. So while my blog is kind of static, maybe people come to the website, maybe they don't on a daily basis. When they log into LinkedIn, they'll get a notification saying Brad Biley published blank, this blog. So you're basically sending essentially an email newsletter to your LinkedIn connections every time you publish, and it encourages them to go in and read your content. It's a great way to continue leveraging your blog, your articles, your content in a place where your audience and your connections are active.
Yeah, great tips. And Brad mentioned earlier, you can embed links right in these posts, and that's really important for search engine rankings. Okay, right now, if you embed a link on a LinkedIn post, it counts as something called a follow link back to your website, and it's coming from a very reputable site in LinkedIn. So as you begin doing this, you'll build more and more inbound links to your site from LinkedIn. Not only drives traffic, but helps in search engine rankings too. So Brad, overall, give us a few tips on how to be more social and how to really engage people.
Yeah, one of the easiest things that you can do on social media is to actually be social. When you post a good piece of content and people start to share it or they start to comment on it or like it, reach out to those people. You'll see here that somebody commented on the marketing webinar saying that we use Barker and have been very pleased. We followed up right away and said thank you. You know, we love to be active on social, as you should be too, on a personal and a company level. You can share things like holidays. I said on Facebook you can share things like company updates. Maybe it's pictures of people from around the office or a happy hour or a team building event. You can do the same thing on LinkedIn. People, I often say, don't do business with companies. They do business with people. So let your audience and your connections know who is working for you, and let them become comfortable with your team so that when they do pick up the phone and call, they're looking to talk to Brad at Haley. They're not necessarily just looking to talk to Barker. They're not necessarily looking to talk to the company, but they're looking to talk to you personally. Then following up on that too, reach out one-to-one. When you write a piece of content and you tag accounts, so this is on Twitter now what we want to do, and even Facebook here as an example, but what we want to do when we share content, if you refer to somebody in that article, tag them. It increases the likelihood that that'll be shared, that it'll be liked, it'll be commented on, and most importantly, these companies are going to see this, and these accounts are going to see this. So in the one example here, need a quick social media graphic, use the templates in Adobe Spark. I reached out directly to Adobe Spark, said that basically their tool is in this blog post, and I'm hoping that they're going to share it. It's going to amplify the content, it's going to spread it to more people, it's going to get it to a larger volume and a larger audience. Also, with the same thing Barker here did on the company page, we did hashtag Buffalo and hashtag Jazz. 2 hashtags that put us in a different group, in a different category now, where more people can see it, they can continue to share it, they can like the content, and ultimately follow us for more insights and more information.
Yeah, and in that particular example, we tagged Albright Knox Art Gallery in this post. They are featured in the article, and whoever's managing the Albright Knox social accounts retweeted and reshared our post. So what we did is we turned them into a referral source for us. Okay, that's again how you get into that trusted space. You can get a company or an organization that some people already trust to share your content, it's much easier to convert people. All right, we've talked a lot about how to choose the right message, how to find the right people. And really what this is leading up to is building a library of social proof. Okay, social media is very impactful at influencing decision making. It's very impactful to get your message in front of the right people. And you need a plan to do it consistently. You need a plan to continually add content to your library. The best way to do that we found is to create a blog or resources or an article section on your website. You've heard the term blog a few times, and then really we're looking at creating content. Okay, you can swap out the word blog for article or content or resources. What our goal is to do is to be a resource for the customers that we're trying to get in front of, the prospects that we're trying to get in front of. Think about what their biggest challenges are. Think about what's most relevant to them. Think about what they care about and write content around those things. This is just an example of a client that we're working with. Okay, they help place therapists in school systems all across the country. Okay, we write articles that help therapists, that relate to therapists in their day-to-day. We don't actively sell this company's services. What we do is provide a valuable resource. This builds trust over time. We share this content on social media sites. We put some paid social distribution behind it. We share it in email marketing efforts. But everything that we do with this content drives traffic back to their blog, back to their website. And this is a biggie. One of the biggest issues I see with companies, both locally and nationally, is they're active on social media, but they're sharing other people's content. Okay? All you're doing when you share other people's content is driving people away from your business, away from your services. So build a library that's housed on your website. Create these articles, create these tips, create these best practices. Host them on your website and then share them from your website on social outlets. You're going to drive that traffic back to your site. You're going to get them to your product pages, to your service page, to your contact page, or to complete a form to do business with you. That's the goal. And as you see here, as you continue to build this library, and you see this in the chart, you're going to get more and more traffic, more and more page views, and more people to convert. Okay, that's blog posts. Another form of social proof are online reviews. More and more people are turning to Yelp, Facebook reviews. Before you buy a product on Amazon, they're looking at reviews. Okay, social proof and social reviews are extremely impactful. I mentioned earlier, you can say till you're blue in the face how great your business is, how great your services are, how great your people are. What you need to do is get other people to begin saying that about you. And the screenshots that you see here are from a tool that we actually offer to help you build more positive reviews. We go out and survey your customers, survey your clients about their experience. Okay, we gather these testimonials, we gather this social proof, then we present it on your website. We encourage people that had a great experience to go out and leave great Facebook reviews or Yelp reviews or TripAdvisor or Urban Spoon or Zomato, whatever is most relevant to the audience that you're trying to connect with. Okay, it's restaurants, it's hospitality, it's healthcare, it's consumer goods, it's contractors. Okay, people are, again, becoming more educated, so you need to prove to them that you're trustworthy, that you're reliable, and that you do offer a great product or service. Testimonials and reviews are a great way to do that. And you want to continually just make sure that you monitor where you're at. And what you're looking at here is just a screenshot from our back-end system that gives you a real good indication for how your company is performing in the service that you're providing. Once you collect these great testimonials, okay, don't let them sit on the shelf. Turn them into great social media graphics like you see here. Okay, engage with people. Get this in front of as many people as possible. Post it on LinkedIn, post it on Twitter, post it on Facebook. Put it in your email newsletters. Put it in your email signature. Okay, leverage this. This isn't you saying how great your service is. It's your customers. Very, very impactful and influential. And again, here are just a few screenshots from some of our clients that are using this tool to generate more feedback and better reviews. Very powerful information. Somebody has even gone out and said that they're very nervous about a procedure, and the professionals there held my hand throughout. Okay, another from a heating and contracting company that said the tech showed up and fixed their furnace within 30 minutes. Great testimonial. And you can talk as much as you want about your service and your time to fill problems, but if somebody else is out there actively promoting you, much easier sell. Brad, let's talk a little bit about Social Pro. Social Pro is a service that we offer. I promise this isn't a sales pitch, but it's more so to talk about the things that you should be doing or partnering with somebody to do to have a really effective and impactful social strategy. So give a little insight into what we do here.
That's right. With Social Pro, what we're looking to do is provide daily content to the leading social platforms. What we really want to do is look at all of the advice and all the suggestions and recommendations and tools that we were utilizing throughout this entire presentation and put them into one leading social media strategy that fits the needs and goals of a specific client. It's something that you can do in your own office, but essentially what we want to do is create a great piece of blog content with a really nice, strong visual. We want to take that and then push it to the leading platforms. We want to take it to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, and we want to maybe put some paid behind it. We want to reach it and amplify it, get it to a larger audience. Ultimately, with the end goal of getting people back to the website and to take action. So they want to go to a contact page. Maybe they want to go to request a service page, or they go to some sort of landing page where we can then capture their information and get a hold of them. Or more importantly, they can get a hold of us. But with Social Pro, what we're looking to do is essentially take on and manage that social media strategy for a client. Again, we gave you all the tools throughout the presentation, and it's something that I truly believe everybody can do.
Terrific. Thanks, Brad. And then just one final slide, and one thing that we like to mention is that you can use your website, you can use social to highlight awards and honors. And this is a great example. You see across the bottom of the website and across their whole social presence, they're adding their affiliations. If you're a member of local chambers of commerce or business networking groups, or you've won an award in your industry or in your local market, highlight that, showcase it. People want to work with winners. Okay, they want to make sure that they've chosen the right vendor, or chosen the right company, or chosen the right product. So whether it's testimonials, whether it's articles and best practices, whether it's awards and honors, whether it's some event that you're holding in your company, don't be shy in sharing that information. Get it out there. People want to engage with that content, and it's very impactful. Now, I mentioned earlier we had some questions throughout the presentation, and then we also had some questions that people asked when they signed up for the webinar. And in a second here, we're going to get to answering all those questions and also provide some key takeaways from today's webinar. But before we do that, I wanted to let you know of next month's webinar. And I'm really excited about this one too. We're going to share the top tools that every marketer should use. Okay? If you're involved in marketing or sales or lead generation, this is an event you don't want to miss. We're going to showcase many of the tools that we use internally here. We're going to highlight some free tools that you can use to be way more effective marketers and sales professionals. And we'll walk through how to use them, what's most impactful, and what they're best used for. And you can sign up for that at barker.com/webinars. You can also find recordings of all of our past webinars at that same site. And in the next few days, we'll post this webinar recording as well. So with that said, let's get back to those questions that people asked at the beginning of the presentation. And Brad, I'm going to kick this first one over to you. So we talked a lot about this, but just summarize this for us. How can we better reach our target audience on social?
You can reach your target audience on social simply by being active on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, monitoring reviews. Be active on social, and people will start to listen. You can also do things like promoted posts. You can publish posts on LinkedIn. You can use specific hashtags. You can reach your target audience by using Google Analytics and looking at data, things that have worked well, blog articles that are already resonating well with your audience. You can reach your audience by now creating more content on those topics. But at its very foundation, you can reach your target audience on social by first becoming active on those platforms.
Yeah, and it's building your connections. It's doing that one-to-one outreach that we shared in LinkedIn. It's going out to Twitter and following your competitors' followers. It's going out, and if you're doing business in a specific association, industry, or geographic area, it's finding out what Twitter accounts and what business networking accounts people already follow, following those people. As Brad said, it's being social.
I love that idea, Brad. If you specialize in heating and cooling and you know a local competitor, go out and see who's already following that account and follow those people. There's no rule on Twitter that says you can't do that, and I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and we, as part of that Social Pro program that Brad mentioned earlier, it's one of the things that we do. We go out and we build your target audience. We define, we look at who are influencers in the decision-making process. We look at who are competitors. We look at who already has the ear of your audience. We connect with those people, again, to make that sale way easier. Okay, we're getting referred in. We're not hitting people over the head with a sales or marketing message. We're getting referred in. Much easier sale. Next was, how can we build more trust through social media? And really, that's about providing value. It's not about selling. Don't use social media to sell. Provide value. Okay, solve a problem that's difficult to solve. Share case studies. Share reviews and past experiences of people that have done business with you. Use that reputation management tool that we offer that I showed earlier to generate testimonials, to drive more reviews on influential sites like Facebook and Yelp. If you can get other people to tell their audience how trustworthy you are and how great you are, way more impact than you doing it. Brad, anything to add there?
Yeah, I think I saw a stat somewhere along the lines that 8 out of 10 people are willing to leave you a testimonial or leave a review or give you some positive feedback on your services, but rarely any company actually asks for it. If you want to build trust and you have a good customer, give them a call or shoot them a quick email and just say, hey, is it okay if you give us a couple sentences about our services and what you thought about us? Just reach out, be personable, and that testimonial and those reviews will come.
Great. And for me, these next two questions or next two bullets really go together. How can we compete with bigger, more established companies? And how can we do it with limited time and limited funds? Okay, so let's address that bigger established company one first. In Facebook Insights, it allows you to follow companies and follow competitors. So you can keep an eye on what they're doing online. You can see how they're growing followers. You can see which of their content, which of their topics gets the most engagement. Start there. See what they're doing. Assess. And then learn from their lessons. Then also just be more active. Be more strategic. Okay? Pump out more great content. Be strategic in how you approach your budget. I mentioned earlier, putting a little bit of paid promotion on social can really extend your reach with exactly the right target audience. Okay, so while these big established companies are turning to billboards that cost thousands of dollars a month, radio and TV spots that might be several $100,000 over the course of a year, if not more, while they're wasting their money, I shouldn't say wasting, while they're spending their money there to reach some of their target audience and then a whole lot of not their target audience, get more specific. Okay, use your budget wisely, reach exactly the right person. Okay, one thing that we do here even at Barker and for many of our clients is something called retargeting. Okay, so when somebody comes to our website or one of our clients' websites, we tag them. Okay, the little cookie is placed on their machine, and now we start showing ads to them as they go other places. Okay, you've probably seen this, maybe whether you've been to our site, you've maybe seen our ads begin to follow you around, but you've probably seen it on sites like Amazon. Okay, you go, you look at a product, that product begins following you around. It increases the likelihood that you're going to come back and complete that purchase or do business with that company. It also can position you to look like a much bigger competitor, can put you on that same shelf as that big guy, the more established company. And your budget doesn't have to be huge. Okay? It's not about a bigger budget. It's about using the budget that you have more strategically. Brad, anything to add there?
No, those are all great points. I think one other thing that you can do, along with looking at competition and benchmarking their success in the types of content or articles that they're posting, you can also look to different industries like entertainment and sports, just to kind of see how those industries who are statistically on the forefront of technology, what they're doing. And if you see things like video or higher-end content, what a lot of companies don't understand is that you don't need a high-end camera or a high-end, I guess, recording studio to put that content together. You can use an iPhone. You can use a mobile device to put together a really nice video about your services or a really nice video answering a question from one of your customers. Look to other industries that kind of see what's up at the forefront and receiving good attention, but at the same time, use your budget wisely and stay within your means, but still put together similar content.
Yeah, great point. Thank you. And then the last question that we had on this list, and a few others have come in the meantime, was where should I spend my money, online marketing or other areas? Okay. I mentioned earlier we're a full-service marketing agency, so we do everything from print design to digital, but a lot of our work is in the digital space. We're experts in that area, and we know how to do things very strategically. So when I get asked this question, you might think that I might just say, well, hey, you should invest all of your marketing budget into online marketing, and we can help you. But I wouldn't be doing you, I'd be doing you a disservice if we did that. I think that online marketing and social media marketing is part of a larger marketing strategy. Okay? Social media isn't a silver bullet. Search engine optimization isn't a silver bullet. It's part of your marketing mix. Okay? If you can look at using online marketing and social media effectively, what it's going to do is it's going to support and enhance all of your other sales and marketing efforts. Okay, so don't look at it as a silver bullet. Look at it as part of a bigger strategy. And if you need help defining that strategy or determining how that fits into your marketing and sales mix, give us a call. That's what we're really good at, is looking at how we can use a budget, big or small, effectively to support your sales goals and to support your overall business goals. With that said, one or two other questions have come in, and one question that we get a lot, can we get these slides? You certainly can. And what we'll do within the next day or two is put together an email for everyone that attended and everyone that registered. And in that email, we'll share a link to a copy of the slides, as well as a recording of this video. So if there's others in your organization or other peers that you feel would find some value in what we presented today, please share that. Okay? Please get social, please get active and share that content for us. And then another question came up when we were talking about Google Analytics. We started off the presentation by saying you need to be active in looking at analytics and looking at Google Analytics. And the question was, can we use HubSpot Analytics? And HubSpot is a website platform that has nice, rich analytics. And there are also other analytic options out there. The reason that we suggest Google Analytics, number one, it's free. Number two, it's very comprehensive and easy to use, and there's a whole lot of resources out there. But that's not to say that there aren't other options. HubSpot as a marketing platform is a really nice option. There are a lot of other marketing platforms that have analytics baked in. So if you have one of those platforms already installed and you're happy with that, you don't necessarily need to also install Google Analytics, though we find it a very nice platform. And with that said, I believe that brings us to the end of questions and the end of today's presentation. I would like to encourage you, if you need some help, if you want some advice for how to use these tools, give us a call, shoot us an email at info@barker.com. Feel free to reach out to me directly at brad.smith@barker.com. I love having conversations about how to market more effectively. Happy to jump on the phone, no cost, no obligation, and just would love to talk about marketing initiatives, goals, challenges. So use us as a resource. We're happy to help. Thank you again for joining today's webinar. Don't forget to go to barker.com/webinars and sign up for that next event. Again, that's going to focus on top tools that every marketer should use. I think you'll get a lot of value out of that. Thank you so much, and we hope to talk to you real soon.